Welcome back to another episode of Get the Guac. I'm excited. We have Tony Scotto, the CEO and co-owner of THB Bagelry Deli, joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Tony, awesome to have you in. I'm a big THB fan. Before we started recording, I mentioned that a special treat for me, I would get the guac. When I worked in Towson on Fridays, if I was having a good week, I would go in and get a bagel sandwich, plain bagel, egg white, tomato, and cheese. In my mind, the egg white made it all good and the tomato, but really, So I'm so excited, and you've opened a recent location in Bel Air, so no longer do I have to drive to Towson or Canton or any of the other locations you have. So how did the opening go, and how excited are you to be in Bel Air?
Well, very exciting. We opened the store at the end of January. It's been busy since then. I like to say that a lot of people were asking us to come to Bel Air, just like you. So we came to you, instead of coming from us. But Bel Air was on our radar for maybe 6-7 years, maybe even more. Every week we were receiving a request. Open Bel Air, open in Bel Air, open in Bel Air. And we have our growth, but it's your typical growth where you open 10 stores a year and things like that. We are always very strategic of which store we open. Right. So we saw a few locations up here, at least 5, before we picked the one that we liked it. Okay. And I think we picked a good one. There's a great parking there. It's going to be, it's a little bit more than what I would like it. But our plan B, which is in motion right now, to extend to outside seating with the covered patio and everything. So it's going to be more space coming up. But,
excellent. What's funny? As I get older, I appreciate parking way more than I think I probably should.
Yeah.
We had our office in Towson. It was a high rise, and there was no open parking. And clients would come in, they get all confused, and they're like, "I've got 30 minutes." I'm like, "I can't plan a retirement in 30 minutes." So when we did this location, parking was huge to me. So that's great that you found that spot.
2 things I look at when I go to parking, and I discard the main locations where it was too complicated. Not just for the parking, but you have to go far away. Even 10 steps more for me, it's it's kind of barrier. The other thing is the sun. I look at how the sun gets location. I like to tell people we saw the energy. And the sun is the first source of energy,
right?
And I like the location where it's in the morning, even right now maybe even at 6 a.m. because it's pressed so early. You hit the sun and you feel the energy. Our team feels better, the customers feels better, and the whole vibe is better because of the daylight.
So you're thinking for the customer experience, deeper to the level of the warm sun as they eat their breakfast and maybe start the day with a friend or somebody.
Oh, yeah.
That's incredible. It's funny, as a consumer, you just do what you're doing. You don't think about all of the different planning and what goes behind the scenes into pulling off an operation as successful as THB. Won many awards. What's one that you feel especially proud of?
Gosh. I don't know. They're all a little special. They're all a little something. I mean, we've been winning Baltimore Magazine Best Bagels for many years now. We got to see this year, but they're all special, even if it happens every year, honestly. I don't know. I was 40 under 40 a few years ago. Actually, it was the pandemic year, so I didn't get to celebrate. So that was special as well, just to recognize what we were doing. I don't know. That's a tough question.
Baltimore Best Bagel, that's at the top. You don't want to pick a favorite child, but that's one of the...
Probably the best reward, honestly, it's probably it's not really a reward, but it's every time that a customer, the other day we had the guy came from Italy. We just opened this new commissary and we have this big new machine and this guy he's setting up the machine at the commissary and welcome to THB, actually Bel Air right here, and he's amazed.
Yeah.
I say oh my God, I would never expect anything like this one.
Yeah.
And that happened the same thing when we opened Charles Village. Is the landlord, in Chas Village, walked in. I said, "Oh my God, I didn't expect a bagel shop to look like this one."
Yeah.
And so, honestly, when customer comes back and then do it, that's probably it's not really a reward, but that's an ongoing reward that we receive it. The acknowledgement from the customer that the hard work that the people
all that planning in the sun and all that gets recognized, and the enjoyment, and they're sharing the positive experiences that you help foster, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. Entrepreneurship is not for the weak.
Yeah.
On any given week. And most weeks it's tough. So let's talk about your journey into entrepreneurship. Originally from Italy. So tell me a little bit about, what kind of brought you here and how you came to be in the bagel business.
Yeah.
I know it's more than bagels, but we're going to oversimplify.
Yeah, I mean, it's the funny story is Italians making bagels now. Yeah, we do. I like to tell people that we have the taste buds that can make good food no matter what it is. But yeah, so my family, my uncle actually came here in '87 and opened a few Italian restaurants around here. And then when I finished the high school in Italy, in order to get a job or do something you had to learn English. So, with my brother, I have a twin brother. We came here. That was in 2005 went to Towson University to study English.
Identical twins?
And the fraternal.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, how do I know you're the real one?
But if you may see him a different time, you probably get confused. So I don't do it. But I'm the good-looking one, just to let you know. But anyway,
of course,
we don't want to tell him. So that was 2005. But in my sister and my cousin, which right now are my business partner as well, they were here already. So we came here in 2005. We started working the family business as a dishwasher, cleaning tables. We couldn't speak English, so there's not much we could do it. And then eventually, we ended up being the server, just to learn English. And then, in Italy, Italy is beautiful. Obviously, wherever you go is beautiful. But work-wise, it's always very tough, especially for us. We're from the south part of Italy. So back then, 2005, we did 2 semesters. My brother did 3. I wanted to go back because I was, back then I was 18. So, my friends were in Italy. They were partying. I was here, having integration with language. FOMO, fear of missing out on the life there. And so I went back for 7 months. Then I came here because I was finishing the money there. I didn't have any more money. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back for 6 more months. And then when I came back, I started experiencing a little bit of college life. Even if I was working, I was not going to college, but, I was 20. And so I could start going to the bars in a way, back then. And so I started living the life a little bit more.
Right.
And so with my brother, with my cousin, and my sister, and my dad, backing up, was we were trying to do our own thing. And what that means is whatever, it could be anything, honestly, and do it. So before I came here, my experience, my summer jobs in Italy was in my grandfather's deli. So he had a small Italian deli. Italian deli is a little bit different than here. They sell anything from pasta, market stuff, but also sandwiches and mozzarella, the
kind of Savona on Main Street, but as close as I can. Comparable that people from Bel Air would probably recognize.
Correct. Yeah. So the little small deli kind of thing, and it's very small. So that was my summer. In the summer, I used to go there. Just in the morning, I had to cleaning all the shelves, and then my pay was a sandwich. Half of the day, we do a sandwich. So that was, growing up already. We always had this kind of experience with the customers. Coming in, buying the bread, whatever it was. So we were trying to do our own thing, and the restaurant that my brother was working to is Strapaza. I don't know if you guys remember in Towson.
Oh yeah, we did a few events when I worked in Towson at Strapaza.
So it was very popular, back then, and my brother actually was the manager at the time there. There was 2008, and talking to the. If you remember Towson back, the Towson store back then, you had 4 tables. Very small, few tables outside, and line out the door the entire weekend.
Right.
And so, like, all the customer will, like, getting the food and come to the restaurant, to restaurant tables outside, like, to eat their food. So
they get THB and then eat it at your tables because they didn't have enough space.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so my brother goes and talk to the owner and say, like, joking around, I say, hey, like, you got to pay me the rent because, your customer are using. Again, we were joking. He was joking. And the guy, the owner, goes and pull up, like, back then it was all cash. So, like, not a lot of credit cards. They put up, like, a bunch of money. And my brother, like, like we were, Italians, coming here with their dream and say, oh my God, that's must be a good business.
Yeah.
So then we start looking at locations. We want to do our own thing, and I don't remember which location, but we saw one and said, oh, you know what? Here would be a good bagel shop, like Towson. So we approached the owner and say, hey, what do you think if we get a big, if you open another bagel shop, we can be your partner, there. A few months later, he actually, came back and say, why you don't buy mine? Because he was having some issue. And, since we were looking, I said, you know what, maybe we can look into this one. So kind of like
the wheel.
Yeah.
Start with what already is successful.
Correct. And actually, I tell people all the time, we have a big menu, but I actually was even bigger back then. We took it off a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So like, we started like, Towson, we got Towson, and then like, a year later, actually, we opened in Canton. It was 2009, September 2009, which means that 6 months before we started already, like, the construction of the place. So we already know that, Towson was always the beginning of something bigger.
Yeah.
And that's when we start working and opened Canton. We changed Towson a few times. We expanded since then, and we did a lot of work.
So as the business grows, you already have a formula for success and stability. Let's get back to those early days. What are some memories that really helped you on your journey, or things that you look fondly that maybe were a challenge back then, but you overcame it? Seemed like a big deal, but now with time and hindsight, you realize, it wasn't as big a deal as it seemed back then.
Yeah, I mean, even when we opened Canton, I remember we were doing like not really good at the beginning. 2000, there was, I don't know if you guys remember, but February 2010, there was a lot of storms, the biggest storms and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I was worried about it, like, so much, or how, what's going to happen. I mean, back then, even hiring the people, we didn't have really a schedule. Like, I was calling people the day before. I say, hey, by the way, you're working tomorrow, kind of thing. So we started very... and the system that we bought, the bagels were always there, but everything else, like it was based on people, and so we had to put the structure in place on how, like, rely on the systems more than people. But back then, I mean, like, it seemed impossible to open more. It seemed impossible to work, with managers in places, and you make sure that you support the managers. It seems impossible, everything, honestly.
Yeah.
Even right now, like, we got 8 stores. I don't want to. I mean, we're very fortunate, very blessed. To me, I think we can still do more, and we're doing more. But at the same time, like, everything back there was impossible because you didn't know, like, how to do anything. And when we bought the store and opened the Canton location, I mean, that was the beginning of recession. Like, actually, it was the middle of recession. And one of the first lessons that then looking back, the good thing for us is that I didn't know what was a recession. I didn't know that we were in recession. I was not watching TV. We were working like 7 days a week. Like, I was not going home and watch the news. So, like, the good thing is sometimes if you don't think about it, you just do it and don't worry about the noise around.
Put a plan and then act on it. I think that's where people fall short. They talk themselves out of things.
Yeah. They think too much. What can go wrong? Yeah.
It's like the Goldilocks of thinking. Just enough, not too much, not too little.
Yeah.
Have a game plan, but sometimes you're building a plane in the air, and that's just how it works. Yeah. That's been my experience with entrepreneurship. You evolve and adapt. And
when you're 20s, I mean, again, back then it seems like, oh, I cannot fail. Like, what's going to happen if I fail? I mean, you're 20.
You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, you have nothing to lose. You can build it 100 times more. Like,
that's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now you have kids.
I have kids. I have 2 kids, 3 years old and 1 year old.
Yeah, so I've got 3 kids. Pressure's on now. Now we can't screw it up. It's different than we were in our 20s, just trying to figure it out as we go. I hear these stories of folks that start a business in their 40s and 50s. I mean, that takes more guts than I had.
I'm sure it does because, like, if you fell there, like, without a plan B, you'd probably do it. But
that's not just you. It's you got all these people that, you're trying to...
And sometimes it's how you take things. They can be the juice as well. Right? Yeah. They say, like, okay, in order to conquer the island, burns the boat. And if you push through it and you know that a lot of things depends on you, if you use that as an energy to fuel you, I feel like everything is how you take it. It's not necessarily the secret.
If you know that there's a fallback, you might not put the energy you need to make it actually work.
Correct.
Do you think your kids might someday be in the business?
Well, that's, I don't know, they're a little bit too young. The goal it is for us to build what they call a franchisable business, something that everybody can run it in a way, a system based on systems. If my kids one day, they want a part of the business, it's good. One thing I know for sure, whatever they want it, they need to work for it.
Yes.
I'm not going to just give it to them, that's for sure.
I'm the same way. Yeah. People ask all the time, well, your kids might enter. I'm like, I want them to do whatever they want. Yeah. And I'm in the phase, you're probably just a little bit too early for it. I'm counting dinosaur chicken nuggets, making sure each plate has the same number. If one of them comes in this business, how do I make that all copacetic with the other 2 that aren't, So, but a lot of times, so we'll see how that goes.
A lot of times. I think, when it comes to the kids, you just gotta make sure that they grow up with... they're hungry as much as you when you're growing up. Just because if you feed them too much, if you give them too much, they
won't be hungry.
They won't be hungry, and my wife, it's kind of like tells me all the time, like I say, what about if they don't do it? Because I say I don't care, but I definitely am not going to give them everything just because I was able to build something. It's just they need to know that everything comes with the price, and they need to work for anything that they get. I don't care. I mean, they can. To me, they can go and live paycheck by paycheck. That's what they wanted, as long as they're fine with that. And go back to what we were talking before. As long as they're happy, I'm happy. But it's not going to be like me giving them the money to make them happy. That's for sure. Yeah.
And let's face it. At the end of the day, if you do continue on the path that you're on, needs are probably met.
Yeah. There's a company actually that in Baltimore that what they do with the kids is that they send the kids to work after college for many years outside of their business before they're allowed to come back in the business.
Yes.
And I think that's smart.
I think that is smart. Go see the real world without guardrails, and you'll appreciate more of what you have.
Yeah.
Or the opportunities in front of you, at least. So THB talks a lot about positive energy. Tell me about that and how that kind of fits into the brand.
Yeah, so our main mission is to be the best part of people's day, and we have the opportunity that the breakfast business, also that it's breakfast and lunch. We have the opportunity if you come in at 6 a.m. and you have a great experience, go back with a little bit of light and the vibe that you get. When you get that, we can really impact you the rest of the day. I really do believe in that, and so we when it comes to the music that we play, the lights, the everything, the colors that we choose is to give you energy, a positive energy, and because we want to be the best part of people's day, and that's our little things that we can do to improve a little bit the world. There is so much negativity these days, and honestly, I don't know if it's just these days, but probably it's always been like that. And I feel like everybody's talking like big stuff. Oh, we need to change this and do it. We probably can do a little things, and we try to do the little thing that to make people have a better experience. I do believe that if you come to THB at 6 a.m. and you have a good experience, most likely you're gonna go and take the car and go to work, and maybe you're gonna give the other car the waitress so they can go more and they can feel better and and then a ripple effect, and everybody's gonna be better. Like one little thing.
Absolutely. There's so much in this world we don't have control over.
Yeah.
why not focus the energy on what we do have control over? And if we have a positive breakfast experience and that makes us a little bit happier during our day, then you've made a positive impact in the world.
Yeah.
The ripple effect will continue. A lot of community involvement. What are some of the things that you feel, I don't want to say best about, but what are the things that maybe you're very proud of that you've been able to accomplish in the community?
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like THB locations now, like, each THB, it's a step in the community. And matter of fact, like, we're busy. Every weekend is busy in every store that you go. And all you see is, like, you can go to Towson, and sometimes more college students do it, and they know from, the Towson University or whatever the college they're from. So, like, you go to Canton, you have the young professional, they meet at THB there because they probably the night before they went out. Or, like, you go to Timonium, maybe, like, you have the moms and the families, like, that they grab something before their games, whatever
Busy,
it is.
on go.
Yeah, so, like, it's being part of the community. It's the main thing for us. Like, one of the main things, being from Italy, like in Italy we have what we call piazza, which is square, the kind of thing. That's where people hang out. That's where people do it. And we want THB to feel like that. You come in, you get, and maybe you see your neighbor or, like, your friend there, even if you didn't plan for it. So that's
funny enough. It happened in real life. I was in buying breakfast for everybody not too long after the opening. I ran into two different people that I knew. And I'm the guy that will go up and be like, hey, how's so-and-so? We had this whole connection. We just got a puppy. So they knew from Facebook. My wife posts Stanley, the puppy, all the time. How's Stanley? And we're just connecting. If I didn't come in, I wouldn't have that conversation. It was really cool.
Exactly. And that's what we want to, like, the place to be. Like, people get connection there. So we want to be part of the community. And, anything that we do, last few years we tried to help with mental healthness. That's something very tragic, especially, like, for everybody suffering that, and
everyone's connected to it, if not directly somehow.
Correct. So that's been one of the main focus. But honestly, we try to impact as much as we can the many causes that we have. Sometimes we cannot help everybody, so we're focusing. Every campaigns that, kind of like every new LTO bagels, almost every new LTO bagels, there's a kind of connection. We have but anything that we do is always trying to bring positivity, like, whatever cause may be. Right now, for the Rainbow Bagels, we decided to work with the young kids and children. That's probably, like, and it makes you feel at the heart. It makes you feel good, and so we try to connect and do goodwill as well. Talking before, like, the secret of living is giving, and that's probably, like, the best part.
Oh, could not agree more. So let me, what I'm curious, how many bagels do you guys make a day?
Oh, I can tell you in a few minutes if you give me that, but it depends. I gotta say, my brother is a big number guy. So I told you, maybe it's about, I would say, around 15,000 bagels a day.
Across all the locations?
That we do it, a day.
15,000.
15,000. Then you have, like, some days, like, obviously Saturday, Sunday is a little bit more. So, but that's probably an average.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many back when you first started a day?
Oh. I mean, when we first started, like, if you see the equipment, we still have the same mixer that we had at the first store. We didn't get rid of that. I don't know, very good, like, maybe
a few hundred.
Yeah, like, it feels like a long time, but no,
Tony, how many bagels is THB making 5 years from now?
I'll do it. So our plan is in the next 3 years to get to 25 stores. That will include franchising as well.
Yeah.
So we're launching franchising. Our franchise program is a little bit more, like, different. Like, we're looking at the people inside our operations that necessarily, like, want to, be the next managers or whatever, but they want to be the next owner.
Yeah.
So we're putting together a plan for them to be the next franchisee.
So folks who have worked hard at the business and have an interest to take it the next step and have some equity, there's a path for them.
Correct.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
Full circle.
being the everybody wants that, and no, I mean, no, I don't want to say everybody. Some people don't, but wherever they want it, they do it. So I'll tell you something about the bagels count. In order to do that, in order to open more stores, so our bagel operation is concentrated in a commissary kitchen. And in order to do the kind of growth that we want to do it, we went and mentioned about buying new equipment, and we bought this machine from California. And basically, we were making 10,000 bagels a day back then in this commissary. Right now, we can make 12,000 bagels an hour.
Whoa!
I'll do it.
That's cool.
We did the calculation that we can reach 90 stores based on our operation right now. 90 stores that we have now. So
you got room to grow.
We have a lot to go. We just started.
What would Tony today tell Tony from 2008, 2010? What advice would you give yourself back then, knowing what you know now? Get the guac. Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride, yes. Yeah. Yeah, because I was always I did one of those things, PE test the other day, predict index, PI. And came up impatience, very impatient. Do it. I always wanted more and more and more, and do it. So get the guac, enjoy the ride, because that's definitely I could have done better. I mean, I enjoy my time no matter what, but I could definitely. Don't worry about it. This one is gonna get fixed tomorrow.
So every year we do a big 4th of July parade party because I bought the place because it's right on the parade route. Mm-hmm. And I take at least 1 to 2 minutes because we have 200 plus people that come through. We have food truck, band, the whole thing. I'm a big fan of America and independence as an independent advisor, just all the good stuff. But I will stand on the front porch as all the kids and everybody sits down as the parade starts, and I sit and I just soak it up and appreciate, where I am, trying to be where my feet are. Because I got advice from another financial advisor that's retired from the business, and he said, Joe, I'm similar to your story. Next goal, we hit this goal. Okay, great. We have 1 store. I want 5. He said, and that's great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But where I would give my advice, and I'm a few years behind where he is, you got to celebrate the wins and enjoy those moments. Because we would just blow them off or brush them off, I guess is the way to put it. Okay, great. No, it's not really worth celebrating until we do this and you do that. And then it's it's not that big of a deal. We'll do that. He said, celebrate everything, right? Every checkpoint along the way. Said that's one, I don't know if regret might be too strong a word, but that's one thing he wishes he would have done more. Yeah. So, we don't have we don't have the ability to go back in time, but now it's Party City. Any accomplishment, we're celebrating it. Not in a huge way. I'm not saying you need a ticker tape parade, but it could just be a nice home cooked meal where the whole family comes together. Maybe you get something you wouldn't normally get. It doesn't need to be anything huge, just an acknowledgement, celebration. It's okay to celebrate wins, right?
I think it's important because it fuels that. I gotta say, that comes from a guy that can do a better job.
Right.
I gotta say, even for one of our core values, it is intended to celebrate the wins. And for a person like me that's very ambitious, sometimes it's not easy because you guys got an expert, but it's also very important.
How can I celebrate this when my goal is that?
Yeah,
I'm not there yet, and of course that goalpost keeps moving.
Correct. Right. But it's important. It's important for you. Right now, we have over 200 people that work with us, and it's important for them as well.
Yes.
They need to do it.
That's a lot of pressure. You get a lot of people depending on the success of you and the team.
Tell me when 2020 hit and I didn't know what to do it. There was a lot of pressure.
Let's talk about that. How did you survive COVID in the restaurant business when no one's allowed to be around anybody?
Yeah, I remember a few days before, lockdown, I went around the stores and I told people, I say, don't worry about it. I'm not going to let you go. At the end of the year, maybe it's not going to be as good as last year, but, you're going to have a job.
Right.
And honestly, I didn't know, that, but I know that they needed to hear that. And I promise that when I make a promise, one thing about me that I usually make a lot of promise, but when I do it, I go all for it.
Right.
So, yeah, didn't know. at the beginning, like people didn't know like PPP or things like that were going to happen. So a few things that we did. That first of all, we cut all our salary. The owner's salary was zero. We made sure we had to adjust hours. The one thing that actually we did that also kind of sometimes miss those days because we were all so friendly to each other, right? We were all supporting. If you remember, we're all in this together. That was the nice thing about COVID.
Yeah.
But one thing that we did that we did 50% off to all first responders, and we didn't even think about it, but we did it for everybody, for all the first responders. So that was the initial act on it. Like it's okay, we're not closing. We're still going to serve our community. The second thing was to look from a customer standpoint. So, say, okay, if I'm a customer, how do I want to feel about this one? And we were doing a lot of deliveries back then. And so one of the things that, honestly, I was one of them that always delivered food through third party, and say, okay, I want to make sure that the food, it feels like it's clean. So we start bagging the food in the bag, but also put a clear bag outside. Okay. So acting like you're a customer of your own business. I kind of
What would you want if you were the customer and do that? Don't just do what works for you. Do the customer.
Correct. And if you remember back then, you would be scared, to even be close to somebody. Even somebody was touching something, that you.
We spent, I think, 2 weeks wiping down groceries. Yeah. My wife said we got to wipe those groceries down. Yeah. And then I said, look, I'm not doing this anymore. If you want to wipe them down, she said, nah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Then we don't need to.
So, there came the idea of bagging with a plastic bag around that. And again, get more and more people will feel more safe. Then the other thing is we were always big on technology, and we had an app that launched in 2017, and also online ordering integrated. So what we did, we polished a little bit the online ordering, made it easier and very customizable. And people start, say, okay, this is easy. I can do this, because we didn't want the team to take the order on the phone, because if you touch the phone of somebody else. So we were also making sure that the team was feeling safe to come to work, right? They felt like they were at risk every time they were getting out of the house. So how do you make your team safe and the customer safe? That was our big question. And so the online ordering helped that. And little by little, then the third thing, I remember one day it was during the summer, at the beginning, we had everybody say, you need to order online, right? We didn't want to take the order, face to face or over the phone, so you need to order online. Remember, I was in Towson, and somebody comes in and say, can I have a coffee? And, obviously the cashier says, no, you need to order online. I'm sorry about that. And I say, that's not really customer centric, the hospitality, that's nothing about that. Can we do a better job? So I reached out to Toast, and the next week, we installed 2 kiosks for each store, and then the kiosk then became part of our norm in a way. But because we had the customer in mind, the customer experience in mind, and say, okay, the customer just wants a coffee, it's not going to go online and order, right? How I can make that easier.
How can we make this seamless and convenient? Some people want to do the kiosk, some people want to talk to a person.
Yeah. Back then, nobody wanted to talk to people, so that was the thing. Right now, people are very used to. Actually, majority of our order, 60% of our orders, they come digitally. Whatever is the app, online, third party. 60%, some stores even 75%. It's all digital. Yeah. That's the biggest difference from back in the day. Back in the days, it was a different vibe, because you were going to the stores, you had the line at the door, people were there, you had 3 cashiers, 4 cashiers. People think that we put the kiosk to save on cashiers. Actually, that's not true, because we had more people now than we used to have back then. It just changed a little bit, but right now you can still place an order with the cashiers or the kiosk. It's just different.
Excellent. Well, as we kind of wind things down, let's go through rapid fire questions. So just simple questions, quick answer, whatever comes to your head.
All right. I'll get some water before we get there.
Yeah. Toasted or untoasted?
Untoasted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bagel flavor, personally?
I'm a big on, depends where I'm eating. tuna salad. I got sesame bagels, untoasted bagels, warm out of the oven with veggie cream cheese. That's my thing to it. Or bacon, egg, and cheese, plain bagel. I gotta say, I like savory bagels, not as much the sweet bagels.
I'm going to go off topic a little bit. There was a Seinfeld episode where they ate poppy seed bagels. Do you know that one?
No.
So poppy seeds apparently were made from poppies, which have something that there was a drug test that Elaine, or I can't remember, had to do, and she failed because she was eating poppy seed bagels. Is there any truth to that?
Oh yeah. Actually, it is. It is. If you get the test after you get the poppy seed bagels, you may only have the drugs. Yeah.
Okay, go figure. So stick with like a sesame seed or something like that.
Yeah, don't get poppy if you got to take a test.
Most underrated item on the menu.
Italian Coke Art.
Okay.
Italian Coke Art.
Well,
I
can see how. Yeah. I'm sure maybe not everybody knows the family history behind the business and that.
Correct. Yeah, a lot of people, breakfast is what we're known for, but, I have people like, oh, just what would you try? Try one of the deli sandwiches and then you will love it. I like the Italian Coke Art, honestly a lot. I like the heat of the peppers, but we have a few sandwiches named after famous people, Sophia Loren, Michael J. Fox, and again, once you try it, then you may come for that as well.
I think I like the Burt Reynolds. Is that one?
It was one of that. Yes, we took it off because a few years ago I used to have caramel, onions, and I forgot what meat, but we used to have the Burt Reynolds as well. Yeah,
I remember. I'd always get that.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do a Harford retirement special. Bring back the Burt and rename it.
Yeah.
Ravens or Orioles?
Ravens.
Okay. Yeah.
Even if I've been, the new rules of the Orioles, I like it better. Just
speeds up the game.
It speeds up the game. Yeah. I was there last week and really enjoyed the game.
I was there too. Yeah. The whole team was. If you weren't running THB, what do you think you'd be doing?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's a tough one, right?
I went to school to be a ship captain, so probably that's what I would be doing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Natural progression, school for ship captain, owning a 8-location, bagel deli.
Surf the internet. It's kind of the same thing.
That's funny. So, for everybody watching, Towson Hot Bagels, Harford Retirement Planners is a huge, huge fan. Go check it out for yourself. Where can we find more? The locations, the app. Do you want to tell us how we can?
Yeah, different ways. I would say if you want to keep up with us, get on social media, stay connected. All the social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the rest. But we have 8 locations. Last one.
So let's go through the 8. We know Bel Air.
Which is the last one. We have first one: Towson, Canton, Timonium, Charles Village, Columbia, Owings Mills, Locust Point, and Bel Air. If that's 8, that match. Otherwise, I forgot someone.
I had a conversation with the gentleman. This is just an aside. Owns multiple hubs. I said, "Do you even know how many bedrooms you have?" And he laughed. He said, 18. He said, I told him, you might be forgetting one. 30 minutes into our conversation, he just goes, 19, which was totally not relevant to what we're talking about. I said, 19. He said, I did forget one. I have 19 bedrooms. I said, oh my gosh, you can only sleep in one at a time. He's like, I know. So 8 locations, more to come. That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing wisdom and your story. It's been awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.